live from Isaac's hidden lunch spot. It's Inside the G League.
Welcome everyone. This is our first very episode for season 6 for G League, Inside the G League. We have 3 special guests today. First we have Scott.
Hello.
Jasper.
What's up?
And Isaac.
Hey.
As you guys all know, these guys are the staff members this season. Tremendous help they're providing. So we're very excited to kick off another season, right, you guys? A lot of preparation that went into this. All right. But give you a little introduction how the G League came about. Very briefly, for those who doesn't know, I was actually involved with the company league called AMBL, Applied Medical Basketball League. And we had about 25 seasons before the pandemic hit. And that kind of, that people got different jobs and, we had about a year and a half of hiatus, not being able to play together. But as soon as things started to kind of open up, I started a scrimmage session at the time, Ladera Sports Center, and we were able to slowly bring back players from AMBL and those who also left, Applied Medical, started to kind of join the scrimmage. And after a couple years of scrimmage, we kind of talked about, hey, why not start our own league? And that's how everything started. And it's incredible that we're now into season 6. I would have never thought that. I thought it was just something that we could have something once or twice a week, but now it's an official league. So I'm very excited for another season. So that was just a little brief on how the league got all started. But let's dive into our main topics for today, and that is the draft result. One of the key components to this league is that each team gets a whole reset and gets to do the redraft. I'm not a big fan of that this season, obviously, because I won last season with the roster that I had, but we had to do a whole new draft this season. So with that said, we had a very interesting article that came out actually grading how the draft went. So why don't we talk about that, you guys?
And I feel like whoever wrote that just was completely off. I don't know. I feel like anytime you put Scott Majors on a team, they're going to be number 1. So I think them being so low, I guess 3 is low.
Yeah.
But anytime you have him on a team, you're in contention for a championship every season. So I don't know. That's kind of like the first blush kind of take on that.
So little thing about Scott Majors, he's been with the season 3 seasons, and twice already he has won MVP, right? And 3
times.
3 times?
Back to back. Season 3, 4, 5.
And the last season he won the MVP, Finals MVP. The championship ring. So that's why Scott made a point that any team that he's in should likely be on the top of the draft grade. But he was ranked as B+. So how about Jasper and Isaac? What are your thoughts from the draft grade?
I think part-time hoopers got to be higher. On paper, they might not look like the most gelled together team. AMBL members will get the pun there. But just seeing them play last night, even without Mushtaba or Sahil, they were moving the ball well, shooting really well, finding the open shots. So I think that team's going to get really dangerous whenever they get there.
Do you feel like you're overhyping the Ethan dunk and being higher in the team because of that?
I wasn't even thinking about the dunk, but that dunk, man, it looked effortless.
So the dunk that we're talking about right now it happened yesterday at the preseason game, and then Ethan was one of the rookies that everybody was eyeing on. So during the draft, a lot of captains were wondering how good is Ethan, and we were able to witness that yesterday. So part-time hoopers are led by Nick Johnson. He always drafts really well. How about you, Jasper? What are your thoughts on the draft grade article that got sent out?
I didn't see the games yesterday, but based on the stats, part-time hoopers put up 74 and without Mushtaba or Sahil, so
Right, yeah.
that's a little scary. Air Those Balls looks really good. I think they deserve that number 1 spot coming into the season with Isaac assembling the Holy Trinity. Part 2.
So what we mean by Holy Trinity 2 is basically Franz, Gavin, and Chris, right?
Yep.
Yeah, those 3 are the friends that probably can, known each other for a while, and they've been coming out to scrimmages, and yeah, they're like their best buds. So I think their chemistry is like off the charts.
Yeah, I think chemistry might be an underrated thing because it's only a 7-game season, so a lot of teams end up taking like the first like 3 or 4 games to gel. And what we saw last season is you take the first 3 or 4 games to gel, you only have like 3 more left, and it's too late to make the playoff push. So chemistry from beforehand is going to be pretty important, I'd say.
So the air those balls were graded A. So you are agreeing with the grade that they should be on the top.
Yep.
I think they would have been A+ if Isaac was able to get the rest of the friend group,
Which
leave
was
off
Ethan
and Joe.
Yeah.
Kinda
Imagine
stinks,
that.
right?
Yeah,
But
Oh man.
that's the 5 Power Rangers right there. The complete set. So we talked about the top teams. How about the bottom teams? How about Dirty Dogs and N1 Reptards? The anonymous thoughts are that they may be struggling this season. So what are your thoughts on Dirty Dogs roster?
I mean, with the addition of the shot clock this season, having Georges on your team is a big plus. So I think the Dirty Dogs will probably jump up these rankings throughout the season. Georges has that like intangible part of his game where whether it's 30 seconds or 1 second on the clock, he's still taking a good shot and still probably making it. He had 23 points,
Yeah, in the
15
preseason game.
rebounds,
Yeah.
5 assists. So good performance for him out of the preseason, if that's anything. Missing Imran as well. So
Speaking of Imran, what are your thoughts about Georges and Imran combo? Don't you think they're like similar in style in terms of very like clutch, and they are really great shooters? How do you think those two will perform together? Or is that part of the reason why the grade was so low?
both of them can just go for 20 on you in like 5 minutes, and that's just normal for them. I think where the concern comes from for the Dogs is, can they get enough production in those down minutes when they aren't heat checking? So Imran, obviously, tremendous scorer, but I don't think the league sees Imran as a 40 minutes complete scorer. I think he's good for like 10, 20 minutes of like domination.
What are your thoughts, Jasper, on the Dirty Dogs?
The Dirty Dogs, I think, yeah, like Isaac said, with the shot clock addition, I think Georges might get a lot of bailout shots. Imran also. I think it might work out better than we were expecting. I mean, the fact that you can't really double the one or the other between Imran and Georges.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Without suffering or giving up like an open look to someone else. It does kind of throw in a wrinkle of like game planning against them for certain teams. Some teams might not have the speed to keep up with this team either. They got just Ty holding them out down the middle, and Jim also has like another biggish body out there. But other than that, they got like a bunch of speedsters. So
Yeah.
they're gonna be running.
yeah, before we move on from Dirty Dogs, I need to shout out Joe and Ernesto putting up big points in preseason,
Absolutely.
putting up 16 and 12. So and on really high efficiency. So it's looking like a dangerous team on offense. But I think the question that we're all having
The defense?
is how they're going to do on defense. Yeah.
Mm.
Are they going to have the legs to get back on defense every time?
Well, the modern NBA, it's all about outscoring the opponent. So I think this might work out. And I do agree with you, Isaac. Joe, he's been coming out to scrimmages, and every single time he comes out, he's improving. Not only with his shot making, but playmaking as well. So I do see Joe being the X factor for Dirty Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
How about the other team that was graded low on the bottom, which is the new team, the Reptars? Am I pronouncing it right? Is it Raptors? Reptars?
Reptars.
Okay.
Reptars.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do we think about that? We have a new rookie captain, Al, leading the way with really great players in Josh Scheiman, right, and Jonathan Noel. So what do you guys think? Do you guys agree with C- grade?
It felt like Al came in with an MO of who we wanted to draft, and he drafted bigs.
Mm-hmm.
And then went, oh, I need a point guard, and then got DJ. So I don't know. I'm a little sketched out by the team composition. It seems like a lot of bigs, not a lot of shooting.
My team played them on Monday, so kind of have a first-hand experience. But
Yeah, you guys sure did.
I think they can make it work. It feels weird that they're bringing James off the bench, but I think it kind of has to happen. I mean, if you have three bigs out there, your spacing might be not super great. But Jonathan Noel was hitting every shot known to man, so like, man couldn't miss.
Do you think that was just for preseason, or do you think that'll be the trend for rest of the season? James coming off the bench.
I think Al will try to play with it, but I do think there will be real issues
Mm.
with playing three big men at the same time. But I mean, I think it definitely can work. They just need more time to gel on like the high-low actions and how they're gonna match up defensively, I'd say.
So too big is not the best route, you think, for this season?
Two big's fine. Three's still a little too much.
Gotcha. What are your thoughts on Reptars, Isaac?
Al is he's a cool dude. So I think he probably has some plan that we're just not thinking of.
Next level.
Yeah, so having
Next
those
level.
three bigs being able to rotate, just like you said, having two bigs on is all right.
Mm-hmm.
So having a constant flow of fresh bigs and just keep on rotating those guys. While some other teams, like my team, we have one big man in Kyle Perkovich, then we have Sean. So it's like when Kyle needs a breather, we're just a little team.
I felt like you were really disappointed when you said Sean as a big man. Can
Yeah,
you
yeah, I
go into
am.
detail about that?
I'm very, very sad. I wanted to trade him away, but no one would trade him.
That's the insider.
Oh, he knows.
He knows.
I give him a talking to, but he did really well for us on Monday, so I can't be too mad. But
Do you feel like if you had Marcelo, or someone like Marcelo on your team, you would feel like your roster is a little more complete?
maybe, but I don't want to give up Holy Trinity Part 2.
No, I agree with you.
So I think
Just hypotheticals.
those three together, who I picked from the beginning, I always wanted those three. Don't let anybody get it twisted. But yeah, I mean, I think Reptars have a chance. You can't count them out just because they have three bigs.
Yeah, especially not in the G League where the talent pool is so deep. You know what I mean? Like, I think any team out of this 8 teams can definitely compete.
Yeah, I mean, I think any team can figure it out. You know?
Yeah. Now that we talked about the draft result, let's dive in a little bit more and go per game in the preseason games that we witnessed on Monday and Wednesday. Why don't we start with game 1 between the Straight Outta Shape, led by Vandy, versus Al's team. The SOS won 60-48 while shooting efficiently from the field. Otherwise, statistically, kind of even out. So, what do we think? What did you get out of this game?
I would like to caveat saying that Jasper shot well from the field, and then some other folks on Straight Outta Shape kind of struggled shooting. Even though Ish struggled shooting, dude had 7 steals, 8 assists, 8 rebounds. So he found other ways of contributing. I think that's kind of the MO of Straight Outta Shape, is that they have so many moldable and flexible pieces that if someone's not clicking offensively one game, then they find other ways of contributing.
What I witnessed was Ish was having a lot of fun. Not only did he score 8 points, 8 assists, where he was just finding guys left and right, but 8 rebounds and 7 steals. I think he was having a time of his life.
Mm-hmm.
And I know someone here who's really happy to be playing with Ish, and that's Jasper. And why is that, Jasper?
First of all, I've never gotten to play with Ish.
Right.
I've always thought that our play styles would probably complement each other. I think it looked, Monday, he dimed us up 8 times.
Yeah.
I think Ish will have I think in AMBL he's kind of thrust into more of a lead scorer role, where he's more how do you say it, like a Swiss Army knife.
True, yeah.
And like a distributor, I'd say. And I think in the G League he's able to play a little more of his natural role. And obviously, like, that shot's gonna fall. He's not. We know he doesn't shoot 0 for 8 from 3 every game.
Yeah. Like, it's funny, like, I texted Ish, like, hey, you had a really great game, and you almost had a quadruple, and then he's like, the first thing that he talks about is, I was 0 out of 8 from 3. So, he's really aware of what's going on. Another play that I want to talk about is Juan. Juan I think he's like one of the top rookies this season, and the fact that he's on a SOS straight out of shape squad with you guys. Tremendous. What do you think, Isaac?
Watching the game, he was a little cold in the beginning of the game, but then he really heated up. He got warmed up as the game went on. Finished the game with 11 points, 10 rebounds,
Yeah.
double.
Uh-huh.
Good performance from him. He's really shown out with some of his friends at scrimmage, though. I think the ceiling is really high for him. I don't think the floor is that low. I think he's going to be performing week in, week out.
So that was game 1, straight out of shape versus the Reptars. We talked quite a lot about Reptars, so why don't we just go on to game 2, which was between the Shooters versus the Air Those Balls. What were your thoughts, Scott? I think we took stats for this team. What were your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, we did. The main takeaway, I think, was that, especially after watching Part-Time Hoopers play yesterday, was that Gavin had a wide open dunk attempt and didn't take it. So we know who's the best dunker amongst us friends.
We know now Gavin's planning now.
No, but 8 TD, as expected, was very impressive. I think that Starship Shooters were a little loose with the ball because it's preseason.
Right.
So Air Those Balls got a lot of breakaway layups and whatnot. So, again, very impressive. Just in general, kind of pumping the brakes a little bit on preseason in terms of expectations of where you expect teams to fall in the rankings.
Both teams were missing their bigs, right? Shooters were missing their Matt French, right? Their big. And then Air Those Balls were missing their big, Kyle Perkovich. So I think that made the game a lot more hyper speed, right? A lot of back and forth. I think Sean definitely had a lot of fun playing alongside a trio, Franz, Gavin, and Chris. Got a lot of shots because Franz, Gavin, and Chris does require a lot of attention. So I think Sean's gonna have one of his, best season.
Don't jinx it, man. Don't jinx it.
That's what we do here. We jinx it. And then, then Mario, obviously, he did his thing for the Shooters. Despite the team losing 51-65, he still has 17 points, 10 rebounds. Mario doing his thing.
Yeah, 4 steals and 2 blocks.
Yeah.
Like, how does he have the energy to do all that?
That's Mario. That's what he does. On a side note, I know this is an NBL podcast, but Mario had how many points?
40.
The night after this, right? 40 points.
And
Took
12
this
steals.
loss pretty personal.
Yeah.
Came out the
He
next
was
night,
so
dropped
mad.
40 and
Something happened in this game where Mario's like, you know what? I'm going to turn it off next game. I don't know what it was, but do you know what it was?
I might have talked a little trash under my breath to him. Might have egged him on a little
My
bit.
goodness, 40 points in ANBL game the next day. So Mario just making a lot of mark in both leagues. Why don't we talk about game 3 between the part-time Hoopers, again led by Nick and Dirty Dogs. We briefly talked about it when we were covering the draft result, but how about actual preseason game? What did you guys see?
It was really sloppy from what I remember. There was a lot of fast break layups from mostly Nick, Ethan, and Jesse. And Ernesto got some on the other side too. It was just,
oh my God.
yeah, they were just running back and forth.
80 to 77 in
They would go down, take a shot, rebound, run, get a layup, run the other way. So I don't think that's how both teams are probably going to be playing in the regular season. At least I hope not for teams' defenses that they don't give that up.
I mean, the stat
This is-
keepers were busy too,
Yeah.
all those
Dude,
marks
shot
they guys
went
out
up
there
on
made.
average of every 7.5 seconds.
The shot clock never got below 20, it felt like.
And what's the point of adding shot
Yeah.
clock this season with this kind of pace,
For your
right?
team, G.
Just for the Red Bulls.
Red Bulls.
We'll talk about that. Part-time Hoopers were missing 2 players, Mustafa and who else were they? Oh, Sahil, that's right. Their point guard who actually controls the pace. That's probably why it was so up speed. And Mustafa also was missing as well. As for Dirty Dogs, they were missing, obviously we covered it, Imran and Steve. Between these 2 teams, even with Mustafa, I think the size is smaller than other teams, right? You guys would agree?
Yeah, part-time Hoopers is pretty
Yeah.
small.
But a lot of guard play.
Mhm.
Nick had a lot of fun, scoring 30 points, 12 rebounds. Nick doing his thing. So that was game 3. Okay, game 4. Between the Sonics and the Red Bulls, I love to talk about it, but Sonics were actually missing again. We talked about it earlier. Scott Majors, last season's MVP, and they're also missing Dan, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Cheetah.
X Factor from last season. So they're missing their top 2 players. But still, let's talk about it. Fewest points scored in the preseason, right? 22 to 47 Red Bulls.
Oh yeah, if you have the attempts, that'll kind of happen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, speaking of attempts, let's talk about that, Jasper. What did you see?
Well, I didn't see the game.
Oh, that's right. Isaac, what did you see?
I saw some guys having fun. It's preseason. They're all friends. Kelvin, David,
Oh, yeah.
Josh. I think they were just out there to have fun. They knew they were missing Scott Majors. They knew it wasn't going to be their A game, so they were just having a good time. They're all joking and laughing and hitting shots sometimes. They're throwing up fun shots, so I think they weren't stressing about this game, even though their performance wasn't top tier, I guess.
Yeah, that's another part of the G League is we do want things to be competitive, but we also want guys to come out and have fun. So I'm glad, despite not having their top 2 players, they had a good time. Scott, what did you see in the Red Bulls? I know this game was a bit lopsided, but still.
Yeah, it was such a weird game. I don't know, from the Red Bulls' perspective, it felt a little sloppy. A lot of turnovers that
Yeah,
probably
15
shouldn't
was
have
a
gone out
lot.
of bounds.
Right.
So if we can clean that up, I think we're in a lot better shape and significantly happier with the result. But by and large, it's exciting to play with the really big guys, Coleman, Steven, and I'm already playing with Matt Pernada in the
ANBL, yeah.
So I know it's exciting. I think we have a good squad.
So that was our reaction to the preseason game. Hope you guys all have fun. But things are going to get a bit more different to another level because we're going to actually have referees. And we're going to have free throws. Things going to be a bit more competitive, it being a regular season. And we're really looking forward to that on Monday when we start our season opener on Monday. So now our next topic is predictions for top and bottom teams. We talked about the draft grade. We talked about the activities that happened in the preseason game. So let's choose one team on the top and one team on the bottom. Let's start with Isaac.
For this, I'm going to leave my team out of contention just to stay a little
No bias.
still a little unbiased. Yeah.
Sure.
If you're an ATP, he just said you guys weren't the best.
That's true.
he chose not to choose you.
Hey, they know how I feel about him. We were talking late about Shorts Franz breaking out in the playoffs. So you guys got to get ready for that.
Oh, you see, really?
We'll see.
That's
We'll
another
see.
insider. I never seen France with shorts.
Talking about playoffs, haven't even played a real game yet.
He's gonna take
But-
off to next level. Speed.
We'll see. But going through here, I'm between straight out of shape and part-time hoopers. Probably leaning straight out of shape's way. Seeing that team dominate without their big man is really impressive. So even against a team with 3 bigs, with no big man, they still did well. So I think that they have a good chance this season.
So that's your top team.
Yeah,
Okay.
straight out of shape, number 1.
What about your bottom team? Do you agree with the draft grade, or do you see other teams that may struggle?
Just because Reptars are down there, I'll pick someone different.
Sure.
Just to mix things up a little bit. I think I'm going to go with Dirty Dogs. I think they're going to put out what they need on offense, but on defense, they're just not going to be able to get back.
Mm.
A few guys will have legs, but once they start racking up the turnovers or the missed shots, those will be walking back.
That's a
Just
hot take.
based on their player tendencies that I
So-
know.
You just guaranteed yourself a 35-point Imran game on your team.
That's right.
Probably, yeah.
You know he's listening. He's marking the
Yeah.
calendar.
Yeah, that's okay. He always cooks me. That's fine. I got Gavin now.
How about you, Scott? Who do you have as the top team and the bottom team?
Since Isaac was too cowardly to pick his own team, I'll pick Air Those Balls.
On the top team?
spot.
Okay.
They're just so guard deep. I
Mhm.
don't think teams will be comfortable getting it past, or anything past the half court is going to be really, really annoying to get entry passes or anything around the perimeter. So I think they're going to have a lot of fun. They're going to gel well early, like Jasper was saying, and then play great defense.
How about your bottom team? Do you agree with the draft grade, or do you have other team that you see on the bottom?
Yeah, I'm pretty inclined to believe Reptars are at the bottom in my mind right now. Obviously, triple bigs will be interesting to see how Al handles that. But on paper and kind of what we saw in the preseason, it's like, I don't know if this experiment's going to work well.
Gotcha. How about you, Jasper? Who do you have as top team and the bottom team?
Top team, I'd say I think, excluding my team, of course.
Y'all are cowards. I would pick Red Bulls if I thought we were number one.
You don't think you're number one?
We're number two.
That's fair.
I think Air Those Balls will go jump out to an earlier start, but
Oh.
if part-time hoopers end up gelling well, I can see especially if they're missing Mujtaba. And
Yeah,
who are
so
also really good connective tissue type of passers. I think they could be very scary. I feel like, I don't know if Ethan can catch lobs, but Nick would be very happy to throw those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say early on, Air Those Balls and then part-time hoopers could creep
On the top?
Yeah.
How about the bottom? Do you agree with Scott and Isaac in the draft grade, or do you have other team on the bottom?
Let's see. If we want to be spicy,
Get it spicy.
I feel like the bottom team is always, season to season, it's always been based off of availability.
Yes.
So if Steven Sales doesn't show up to more than half your games, I think, and you guys aren't able to find like a like for like replacement in terms
Yes.
of subbing,
Uh-huh.
then it might be a bit tough, I think, for the Red Bulls.
Dude, I'm gonna drop all 8 points on your team. This next season,
All
yeah,
eight.
mark in the calendar, Jasper. It's gonna be 8.
That's good. That's spicy. 8 points for Scott.
Like I said earlier, I think if any team can really figure it out, but availability is always going to be a big thing.
I have to agree with Jasper. I think because we are working professionals, quite a bit of you guys travel for work, and a lot of you guys are also parents too, like with kids. So I think availability will play a critical role. Thankfully, there is something called a sub. We're able to find sub for someone equivalent, somewhat, if the team has less than five or less players. So let's see if that thing kind of work out. But I do think availability will play a key factor in how the teams perform. That's for sure. Let's go to our last topic. We have 12 or 11 rookies joining this season.
Yeah, 15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's a great number. I'm very happy with that number. Why don't we talk about our top 2 rookies out of those group? Why don't we start with Scott? We have already witnessed Ethan and Franz doing their thing in the preseason. But Scott, who's your top 2 rookie that you look forward to seeing this season?
It's tough because a lot of these guys are very, very good.
Yes, they are.
And I'm trying to find like the angle of who's going to perform the best or who needs to perform the best for their team to succeed. I'm looking at John Dre or Dre as
Dre, yes,
Yeah,
for the Red Bulls.
Yeah, he's going to be so important for us this season. If he can get rolling and unlock the bigs, that'll be so critical for us.
Especially when Steven's out
Mhm.
and we have 6 and can't get a sub, Dre will be carrying a lot of the load in scoring for sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's so weird calling John Dre a rookie.
Yeah, because
He
he's
seems so
been
much, yeah.
in
He's
our
been out the
scrimmage for
scrimmage
so
for, like,
long.
the
I'm
last,
so
3
glad
years.
he was finally able to join. So we look forward to seeing how he does. How about other rookie, Scott?
I'm going to go with Jordan over on the Sonics.
Jordan?
He's not a rookie.
Oh, he's not a
Oh yeah,
rookie.
yeah, he played before.
Okay, never
yeah.
mind.
But he
Sure.
took like a break, four season break.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in season 1?
Yeah, he was with
Like
season
season
1,
one,
Jordan. Yeah.
maybe.
Okay.
Or 2.
Point still stands real quick. Jordan's going to be really critical for Sonic's half-court
Yeah.
offense. So
A shout out to Jordan. Great.
we're looking over at Starship Shooters real quick. I think Matt French is going to be critical for them to stop
The
interior
size, the
stuff.
big, yeah.
Beyond him, Zach would be the next big on the roster, and I don't know if Zach can handle like the big bigs.
He got the muscle though.
Sure.
He
He has the height
He's
too.
amped. Yeah.
Don't disrespect the 2-time DPOY.
Yeah, but last year he had Brian and Scott Majors to help him out on the back line. So I don't know. I think Matt French is going to be pretty important to shooters' defensive success.
Great.
I don't want to leave out that Zach had me and G last season.
Yeah, G was there. You're right.
Yeah. me and G were helping a lot.
I don't know. Like my biggest memory from you all last season.
It's
was,
okay.
was
Moving
Isaac
on.
fouling
Moving
out
on.
with a smile on his face.
Moving on.
How about you, Isaac? Who's your
Moving
top
on.
2 rookies?
I can't just pick 2.
Okay.
I gotta pick 3.
Go ahead.
And it's all 3 rookies on
Oh,
Air Those
of course.
Balls. We got Franz, we got Kyle, and we got Gavin. I don't know what's stopping us. Only thing that can stop us is ourselves, man.
Yeah, turnovers mostly.
Turnovers.
Yeah.
We're too fast for our own good sometimes. So I think if we can control that, we'll be fine.
Amazing take. How about you, Jasper? Who's your top rookies?
I think Jonathan Noel is going to have a big role to play on his team.
I
He's the
agree.
only rookie on his team, I think.
Mhm.
But yeah, he's going to be pretty huge for their team, especially his helps them space the floor a little bit. He's knocking down a ton of mid-range shots on Monday. On part-time hoopers, Ethan obviously
Yes, sir.
has a huge role to play alongside Nick and Mujtaba and Sile. And let's see, I think Kelvin also on the Sonics. He's
Oh, that's right.
Going to be
He's so strong.
yeah, he's going to be a
In the
pivotal player for
preseason?
them.
He's so strong. He almost hurt Scott.
I do
Yeah.
think they're
He almost hurt me too. Calvin is so strong.
yeah, I do think they have a bit of a clunky fit on the team, or in general, just I know Scott and Dan are be running the whole time.
Oh yeah.
They're going to be hard to keep up with. And then it's just going to be up to the rest of the team to see if they can keep up with their own guys.
All right. So that was a great discussion that we had. We covered a lot of things today. So thank you for tuning in, you guys. We hope to bring you guys a lot more fun content in the future. But this concludes the episode 1. If you guys have any specific topic you would like us to cover, please let us know. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Peace.